Stacker News Live with my BFF forever, Keyan. How's your week going?
It's going good. I think you ask me that every week, and it's like the first time I've thought about the week as a group of days. I think it went good. I'm pretty confident it went really good. How was your week?
Really, really long. It feels like so much to get done here. Yeah, it's really long. I need to pace myself better. I feel like I'm finally caught up now. But yeah.
Well, that sounds great. So why don't we go over the top 5 stories?
See, you know how to do segues now.
Yeah. The cornier the segue, the better. Yeah, so we'll go over the top 5 stories, a little bit of stats, a little bit of jobs. But top story of the week was Heisenberg wrote on how Lightning addresses work. I get this question a lot, actually. Like, people are like, how does Lightning address work? It's like we have an FAQ on the site, and someone asked at one point how Lightning address works. They wanted to know, and then I don't know. There's probably a handful of other times people have asked me. And what's kind of odd is that I didn't invent Lightning addresses. It's just people coming across Lightning addresses, and they're curious how they work. But Heisenberg does a great job of summarizing it here. But kind of high level overview, if you don't know how it works, is it basically uses ln URL pay underneath it. It's like a Lightning address just gets more or less turned into an ln URL pay flow. It's just like almost like a way of sort of writing an ln URL pay code. Is kind of a way to think about it. Yeah, but if you're curious, if you're like, how does this work? I don't understand how. I thought Lightning needed invoices. Guess what? It still does. And ln URL pay and Lightning addresses still use invoices underneath them, but there's like a little bit of an abstraction away from them that allows you to more easily pay someone. So yeah, really good story. Stacked 10,000 sats.
That was the number one post?
That was the number one. People really, the audience leans a little more technical. So people like learning and like learning how things work.
So people like learning on Stacker Days, it seems.
I mean, that's what I like doing on Stacker News. That's what I like doing on most like forum style websites is learning. I feel like conversations are like the best way to learn. And I think the formatting of Stacker News and like threaded commenting on like Reddit or Hacker News is like great for having a conversation.
Cool.
Yep. That's the top one. The next one is this DALL-E 2 image generator that's powered by Lightning. It's at describe.photo. No reference of Bitcoin in the URL. In prepping for the podcast, I attempted to generate an image. I said a 3D render of Lightning Network News website taking over the world during the apocalypse, and I got these answers, these images here. Not great. It looks like some kind of like cheesy Russian news network opening. So I don't know how to write DALL-E prompts. Apparently, people are like writing books on how to write DALL-E prompts now.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at it.
It's good to see them making more content around DALL-E and stuff. This is the second one we've seen in 2 weeks?
Yeah, there was like the other one. I don't know if it was, maybe it was using DALL-E, but it was like in a Telegram group. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this one's a website. You pay 1,000 sats, 250 sats per image generated. It is quite a few sats.
That's a lot of sats for a crappy piece of art.
But if you earn some sats on Stacker News, you can come and try this out and see.
Hey, send the 1,000 sats to me. I'll make you whatever you want.
I mean, if you write good prompts, hypothetically, you should be able to get good images from DALL-E. I see so many good images come out of DALL-E. But I think you need to be very good at writing prompts. I actually saw a product on Twitter today where you can pay. It's a market for prompts. Like you can pay people to write you a prompt. like you write a natural language. I think how it worked was like you write a natural language of what you prompt of what you actually want, and they will return to you a Dolly prompt that returns a good image. So it's kind of weird.
So there needs to be an app for that to get to that.
Yeah, it's like a weird like.
And let's hope this actually works.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'm gonna make it.
I'm not really. I mean, it's still. I see some great images that are made by it. So it needs to do a little better, maybe with natural language. But yeah, cool project. Cool example of like lightning at work. There was some people in the comments talking about they did like the math on it, and they're like, so this is a crypto coin asked Stacker News to the moon, and this is what it generated, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good image.
It's terrible.
A couple people, it didn't work for a couple people, but I think they fixed any bugs on it.
The only person I've seen actually worked good for him was Tristan.
Tristan knows how to write prompts. That's why he's like, yeah, it's exactly the kind of thing Tristan knows that like is really. Tristan also really good at Photoshop.
He's also a robot too, so it makes sense.
A robot. What makes Tristan a robot?
His turtleneck.
Oh, that is kind of robot-like.
Just kidding, Tristan. I love that kid.
Hopefully he's not watching this right now. If he is, you're a great human being. Yeah, cool little Dolly 2 project with lightning on top. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this was posted by Max Webster yesterday.
Came out like thunder.
Yeah, or was it 2 days? Yeah, it was yesterday.
How many lightning bolts came down when he posted this? You think like 20,000 all at once on Stacker News?
Maybe. I don't know.
Such a boss post.
Yeah, really. So Max was led, or Stacker News' pre-seed round, led Stacker News' seed round. And Max and I actually discussed. He like wrote a draft of this and sent it to me and I read it earlier this week. But basically, it describes how we might be able to use Bitcoin to make a better search engine. He kind of first breaks down. It kind of first starts with the problem. Like it appears like Google search maybe isn't doing a great job these days, and there's like a number of like thought leaders in startup land and product land who have been complaining about Google for a number of years. And it's specifically like finding things that aren't really factual. Google does a really great job of finding things that are factual. It's just kind of, the more human side to things is kind of difficult. Like it says here, when people are looking for certain things, they'll add Reddit onto the end, or GitHub or Rotten Tomatoes. They'll tell Google where they want to search rather than Google knowing where to search. And it's like how might we make this better? And so Max proposes that we use Bitcoin to do it. We kind of like we somehow attach value to each of these domains, or like record that people value these domains so that they rank a little higher and aren't necessarily based on PageRank type mechanisms, which are, if like crudely, it's like there are other websites on the web that link to it a lot. It's basically how like the main mechanism by which Google search engine ranks things. It's probably changed a lot, but that's like the fundamental underpinning of it. Overall kind of interesting thought process. He implicates Stacker News quite a bit because we do think, I do think about like how do you rank things using Bitcoin probably more than most people do right now. And that isn't like even Stacker News's methods aren't perfect, and I don't exactly use Bitcoin to rank things. We use like right now it's predominantly Trust, which we use to rank things. But still, I think there is something there. It's maybe and maybe can be built into a product. I don't know. What were your thoughts on it, Car?
I think he's headed in the right direction. And I know we talked about it earlier this week, and I forget who else we were talking about it with, but to me, it does seem like what he called the Satoshi depth layer does make sense. Like there definitely does need to be that involved, I guess, in ranking. I just don't know if that can be the whole thing that it, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it needs a little bit of something else, and I don't know what that other thing is. I know, I think he's right. Like, he's in the vicinity of something. I just don't know what that other missing component it is to rank websites.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, man. But I think definitely, we just definitely do need to make a new Google search engine. I think we can all agree on that, and that's definitely a start to at least head in that direction.
What problems do you have with Google?
The fact that, man, dude, I mean, the other day I was just trying to look up like what the whole Biden thing was, like when the whole like red thing was. You remember? I don't know if you saw the
No,
image.
I don't. I wasn't.
And it wouldn't
attention.
even pull up on Google, like just for me to see the video or even see what it was that people were talking about. So it's obviously like censoring news. So yeah.
Okay, so the bias is kind of what you have a problem with. I think
The censoring.
Yeah, I think Max is speaking to like more like independent of the censoring. He sees a problem, and I think some of the people he referenced in his article see a problem with it. Google generally works pretty well for me. Like but I imagine it could be better. It'd be nice sometimes, because like when I'm Googling for things, if it could tell me that, oh, there isn't these results actually aren't that good. Like maybe you're not doing a good job of structuring the query, or maybe there isn't an answer to the question that you're asking, or I don't know exactly how it can be improved, but I think when you're searching for a movie, there are sites that you want to go to and sites that you don't, and there are it does feel like there's a large percentage of the like on the first page of Google, a large percentage of the sites I'll get are more or less gaming SEO, and I have to work my way around them to find the good ones, or it's like a lot of repetitive content. I immediately when Max sent this to me, I'd begun thinking about like how would you actually start beginning to experiment with this. And that was like most of my response to him is like, this is how, if I were to take up the task of building this, I'd probably start with a page rank like search engine. There's likely some of them out there that are open source. You have to do the work of crawling and everything. But then I'd begin figuring out incentives on how to make this work, allowing people to tip in search results to make the items rank higher, but that, you have to figure out the incentives there to make it work right. And then how do you get people to tip and when they might not otherwise?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It seems like that could be a part of it. I just don't know what the other missing component is, and it has to be something else. With all these things I've noticed, it's always the lightning, but it can't just be thrown on top. It has to be an extra thing that incentivizes the tipping, and I don't know what incentivizes somebody to go on a search engine other than just like to make a better search. I mean, I don't know, but it needs something else.
Yeah,
what it is.
Yeah, I also think Satoshi depth is a weird word. I think it would have, like, it didn't occur to me until after he published it. We probably should have called it Satoshi signal. Just because I think depth in search is actually like kind of a bad thing. Like you don't want to be deep in search results. You want to be high. But anyway,
I honestly think like we just need to go back to like a Yahoo directory. Call me crazy, but I feel like that would be a much easier way to do this.
That's the same idea that Jason Kalinakis, I think is how you say his name. Do you know Jason Kalinakis?
Yeah, I know who he is. I know he had that idea.
Yeah, he had a search engine that was called, I think, Mahalo. Mm-hmm. Do you remember this? Mm-mm. Yeah, Mahalo, that was human curated. It was.
Oh, cool. Where's it at? Is it still being used?
Probably not. I think he shut it down, and instead he's like a professional VC VC, like he does like a podcast thing now, I think, where he kind of trolls as a VC. When did he do
Mahalo? Did he do it like years ago?
It was during like Dig Nation years, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, what is dignation?
Oh, that's right. You've had a lapse of, of memory.
Never heard of it.
It was like early. It was like,
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think that makes more sense. A directory. I feel like Bitcoiners already do that. We already have a directory.
yeah, directories. I mean, there's a reason why Mahalo didn't take off. I don't think it was actually doing a much better job than Google. I think that's the problem. Is you need something that, like, what's nice about Google is it scales to like the niches and the like general categories. Even if some of its results aren't great, like manually competing with Google is just not going to work.
Yeah, that makes sense. We should just all build GeoCities again.
Yeah, you've just gotten nostalgic. So I think that's what's going on.
Let's go to the next story. Oh, what did the stackers say? I'm sure somebody in there.
Actually there's a lot of great. There's like so the BTC Manual. He does SEO for a living.
Yeah,
so he kind of weighed in on like how you can game Google search results. And
he knew exactly how.
Yeah, I mean when you're an SEO expert. This is what you do, is you like train to game Google. So there are ways to do it. And he's saying like, here's all the metrics you possibly could use maybe to rank content.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
With money.
Yeah. Somebody go and do it.
Yeah. I think it's worth playing around with, and it's probably not too hard to just get started and begin to see if there's like really something there. But I'm still struggling too personally with like how to structure incentives around economic ranking and that kind of stuff. It's far from a solved problem, but well worth like messing around with, because there might really be something there.
Or you could just be telling us this, Keyan, you're really working on in the background.
I mean, I am working on it in the background, but I don't have it solved yet. So it's still
Stacker search.
Because what you want,
a website near you.
What you want is a system of incentives that's like as beautiful as Bitcoin's, where it just goes, and then there's no real breaking it. I mean, there are threats to Bitcoin on the edges of its like incentive mechanism, like certain like mempool pinning things and all these other kind of things. But as far as like the core set of incentives, it's beautiful, and that's kind of what you need if you want to build like something that's going to be Google. You need a set of pristine incentives driving it that are as pristine as Google's, or as pristine as Bitcoin's. Anyway, great post from Max. I'd love to see him do more pieces like that. The next top story is about, it's not really Bitcoin related, but it is about like self-sovereignty related. Someone wrote up a post on how they've given up trying to self-host their own email. And apparently they had been trying for 23 years to keep doing it, and they have finally declared it a lost war. But they go through and kind of describe all the problems they had, but more or less like basically any mail they send out gets marked as spam, because it's not coming from one of these like gatekeeping services. And so these gatekeeping services will filter out the email he sends, more or less. Other things like a lot of times he wouldn't even receive mail that got sent to him, but it was predominantly, I think, him just not being able to be able to send people email reliably. And he said he tried literally everything and kind of goes off and lists.
Was he running Exchange or something? What was he running?
No, he was running like a legitimate business, and he had a static IP at home that he used for his email server, and nothing, no crazy weird business, just pretty standard stuff. He claims, at least. I mean, it could be.
Yeah, when I was doing IT, probably going on almost 2 years at this point, but we were at that point where people were moving from like local hosted Exchange business email onto like, what are they using right now?
Oh, you meant Microsoft Exchange.
Microsoft,
I thought you meant like was he running like a a crypto exchange.
No,
Okay.
I meant like Microsoft Exchange. So
oh,
like when I was leaving, we were already getting them onboarded to like the cloud stuff. So
Yeah.
or Office 365, I think is what it was called. So yeah, man, I know it's what's gonna happen?
Yeah, it's kind. I mean, it's just kind of
Send
sad.
regular mail.
Right. Well, yeah, that probably has a bunch of problems too. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer because email is like one of those protocols that everyone looks to be like, look, decentralized messaging. It's there. We have it already. We should do more of this.
Yeah, I think our next story is going to talk about something that probably could fix this.
Oh wow, you're so bullish. Not that isn't our next story though.
Oh, okay.
But it's talking about a Noster story. But yeah, it's kind of a sad state of affairs in email land right now. And
what did the stackers say?
Yeah, hopefully we fix it. Just someone said Noster to the rescue. It's there you go. Kind of agreeing with you there. Other people talking about hash cache.
Somebody said, "Don't get me started on this." That's funny.
Someone said can't be fixed with a new protocol. It's just maybe
a lot of doom and gloom in this.
Maybe
thread.
different mediums.
Yeah, what did Darth Coin says? He always has something.
Said he can confirm. So he said he basically had the same.
Oh, okay.
Same kind of experience.
Darth Coin says it's the truth, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a bummer.
Thanks for posting it, though.
Yes, Mr. Luke Lucasen. Thank you for finding this story and posting it. The next top story is a solo miner with only 270 terahash got a block.
Whoa,
and they earned
score
6.35 Bitcoin. And this has become somewhat of a news story every time this happens because it's pretty hard to do. But there's been quite a few this year. I think BTC Miner shared a graph of solo blocks mined.
Bullish
Yeah.
on the pleb miners.
So pretty exciting. I went and checked out. So here's the pool that you mine on. Apparently, if you do solo mining, typically CK pool. I don't know much about mining, so I don't know how exactly this works. But they're basically a pool that you can solo mine on, given that you can't just you don't want to really spin up your own pool, and you can't really solo mine without a pool or mine without a pool these days. But I also couldn't figure out how they determined that they only had 270 terahash. Maybe like out of band, the miner disclosed what their setup was like. Well, but
I think won't it say like it's an S19 and all that kind of stuff, and then you can just look up at the model and how much terahash it uses?
I don't think so. I mean, no, I mean, because it's not. I don't think there's any single model that does 270 terahash right now. But this is the block that they mined, and here's mining from the solo CK pool.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish I knew how they figured it out, because even the Coinbase tag doesn't really seem to reveal the terahash, but still really cool. I mean, basically like won the lottery a little bit. Well, it's kind of funny in CK Pool's website. Like one of the reasons you might want to solo mine is you have old inefficient miners that'll never earn rewards through regular mining, so you enter mining as a lottery. I thought that was kind of fun. And I could imagine doing that, especially if you have cheap energy or otherwise are heating your home with a miner. But yeah, cool that still happens. So those are the top 5 stories. Now we're moving on to, this might have gone into the top 5, but this is one of your top stories that you picked this week. It was, but I think it also
made the top 5.
It was
just outside the top.
Just outside the top 5. So this is just, as of now, your top story. So
yeah, click on the link.
Take it away.
Click on the link. Yeah, so Alby, if you haven't used Alby, it's a browser plugin, and it allows you to get Lightning for all the content that you're creating. So I've been using it for Thriller Bitcoin. I've been using it for a lot of things. I have it on the Twitter now too. And dude, freaking works, and it works amazingly well. I don't, and on top of that, so that's one thing, how great it is. It's just perfect. The other thing is just, they're just like at breakneck speed. Like they're not stopping. And like it almost seems like every other week they have another big announcement or another big post. And like, this is the WordPress one. If you scroll down, so they created a Bitcoin Lightning publisher, and it's basically a WordPress plugin. And so now at this point, anybody that creates on WordPress will have this kind of like publisher side tool to utilize and actually be able to capture Lightning. And it's kind of cool, man. Like I use it on Ghost. So like right now, if you go to Throw Bitcoin, you inject like a piece of code inside the header. And then whenever somebody browses, their Alby browser extension turns a different color, and they can tip me. And then you can also, inside your post, they also make a separate thing. This is probably a story that we covered maybe like a few months ago, but they have this little thing that you can add a tip bot. You can just click 1, 1,000, or 100, and then you just tip them, and it all works from your browser. It's freaking exceptional, man. It's so good, and it just works so seamless. I'm just like hats off to the Alby team. I don't know who they are or like where they're from, but
I mean, they're very public, and we had an AMA with them before. But yeah, you might. I think I remember talking to you about Alby. It was only a couple of months ago, and I thought you knew about Alby already. And you're like, "What's Alby? I don't know what they are." And but they've been at it for a while.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was talking to them before they even had a name. They were in Bitcoin design trying to figure out a name, and they eventually landed on a name. But I was talking to them and before they even had gotten that far. But yeah, these guys are killing it.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. And then I think they just updated their Get here recently too. That's on another Stacker News post. And then I think I saw another one today. So yeah, they're just relentless, man. And thank you for your service. Like this is severely needed for content creators like myself. Like
you don't use WordPress, right? So you need like a Ghost plugin.
Yeah, right now it's fine. It works, but it would be cool to have a little bit more like dialed in.
Right, because I think I went through and I kind of tried to figure out what this WordPress plugin actually gives you, and apparently it allows you to create a paywall.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, so that's not something you can get, I think, with your current setup. Another thing I think they allow you to do is paywall after a certain time. So if a person is spending a certain amount of time on your website, you can paywall them after getting content for free. I think I've seen them have other like blog like solutions where you pay as you scroll in a value for value type of way. So like as you're reading, you pay more and more and more. And what is the other one they support? I don't know, but they've like really been experimenting with like the variety of ways you might want to monetize a blog.
I would say like for me, just throw them all up there and then let the content creator decide how they want to, if they want to do like what you said, like a paywall, or they want to do like a donate. Like I've been using that type of thing
at
the bottom, and I like using that, but like let the content creator decide what they want to do. But yeah, dude, they're just doing such a great job. I love what they're doing, and I'll be bullish on them. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. And so this was your other top story. I'm surprised this didn't actually make it into the top this week, but
so this is funny because like I had wrote this, and then I had planned on throwing it on Stacker News, but I never did because I was like,
I'll go get someone who might know more about.
Okay, well, I'll tell the Stackers this story. So, like, I usually just throw this on Stacker News almost immediately after I post it, but for whatever reason, this time I did it because I was like, most people don't like it if it's already been posted once, and Anigma had already been posted on Stacker News, so I just went ahead and just said, you know what, not gonna post it, and then I come back like 24 hours later. And it literally had taken the top slot at Stacker News. And I was just like, gosh, the one time I don't post my article is the one time it makes it directly to the top of Stacker News.
And then someone stole your money.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So Anigma, Keyan, if you scroll all the way up, Anigma was created by Brill. What's his name, Super?
Brill Satan. Brill Satan. Not really sure how to pronounce the last name.
But it turns out Super wants to make an announcement today. Super, take it away.
Hi guys, Brill Satan is fake. I run that NIM, and it's actually Super Testnet who made Enigma. So surprise, yeah.
Wow. How many people do you think were actually confused by?
7.
Okay.
7 people were confused. Keyan asked how many people were confused.
Yeah. So what is Anigma, Super?
It's a Telegram clone that uses Nostr as its backend and a CSS chat interface as the front end.
And it also has encrypted DMs as well too.
Yep. If you click one of those icons over there, you can DM one of those people and see what that looks like. Keyan, you want to try that? Oh, he's typing a message.
I did. I told them.
We can't see your message because you were
we're over the message.
Yeah, we're over the message.
So if I click on someone's avatar,
Yeah.
Doxed.
I can direct message. I'm gonna direct message Alex Amedio.
Yeah. And also we can't see that your screen doesn't show the
Just
full
keep
thing.
hitting enter.
But
What,
there is
so
there's a little icon.
so
there's
is
a little
this
message
DM
bar.
right now encrypted, Super?
Yeah, the DM is encrypted. If our video wasn't in the way, you could see him messaging the other guy. But yeah, that the DM is encrypted, and that's kind of cool. That's neat. It shows up, and if he responds to you, it'll show a little green message.
So what
there.
spurred you to do this, to make Enigma, and then also why didn't you just do it under Super Testnet?
Why did I or why didn't I?
Yeah, why didn't you?
That's a good question. I sometimes make new NIMs for new projects I'm doing, and I made Brill for a different project. But then I did this one. I'm not sure why I did this one under Brill's name.
So
Where'd you get the avatar?
It's AI generated.
Oh, is it really?
click
Yeah.
on Brill. Wait, did you use the Dolly one?
No, I used a different one. I used thispersondoesnotexist.com or something like that, and every time you go there, it generates a new image. And
Wait, so she doesn't really exist?
yeah.
What do you
mean? The computer generated that image.
Yeah, computer generated human image.
Oh, see, why can't it? Yeah, that looks really good.
Right?
Yeah.
You date her.
No, I wouldn't date her.
No?
I had
Too
to
much like a mom.
I had to refresh like 17
It's Super
times to
Testnet.
get one that
That's
looked
just
like
weird.
a pretty girl. So
It's Super Testnet. That's
Looks
super
like a
weird.
really nice mom.
yeah.
Okay, this is getting weird. So go back to Nostr. Cool. So didn't I think JB55 used it as well too?
He did. Oh wait, look there's a bug. Look, I see a bug right there that YouTube should display the full, like the URL stops before it gets to the one part. Okay, gotta fix that. What'd you ask?
JB55 used this as well too, right? For Damus, or
He uses Nostr for Damus.
but he didn't. I thought I saw him on Twitter post something about.
Oh, he's adding support for channels.
Oh, for channels. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, the Nostr protocol has a specification for channels, and I was basically the first person to implement it, and he's adding support for it in Damus, so you can talk to people inside of here.
I even saw Gigi tweet about it too as well.
You're about to reveal your private key, Coob. You just did.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
It's too
it
late.
showed. It showed. You'll have to get a different one now.
We're live. It's okay. It's all good.
Now post is me.
Wait, aren't you on? Did you use the same one from Damus?
Huh? No. I didn't. This is auto-generated.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody take it.
More or less ephemeral.
Somebody take it and be Keyan.
What else should we know about Enigma before we have you go?
I was really proud of it because yesterday Gigi
No.
posted about it.
The Dur?
The Dur himself,
There you go.
first name Dur, last name Gigi, I think.
Yeah.
He posted about a channel he made, and there was like 65 people all chatting at once, which is really confusing in like even a normal chat messaging app.
Yeah.
And this held up like a champ. Like everyone was happy, and there was no one noticed the bugs it has. So I was really excited. I was like, wow, it actually was able to do like real chat apps, like hard mode.
Yeah.
You know, for chat apps is handling 65 different people all talking at the same time.
That's so cool.
So yeah.
What's nice is like you didn't build a back end for this.
I didn't have to build a back end or a front end, really. I just had to hook two things that already existed together.
You did build a front end, but that's the most striking thing to me. It all lives in one HTML file, one file. Like you download a single file to your browser, and you have your.
There's a separate CSS file.
Okay.
So there's two files.
But
all the script tags are just in the HTML, which is a stupid way to do things. But
but that's
my way.
But that makes it way cooler. It's just I have this one file and I have the entirety of the application more or less. Like the ability to use it. I love that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Way to go, Brill Satin. And also it's a progressive web app, right? You can
you can install it to iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is neat. It's not in all browsers support this though. You have to visit the webpage in Chrome or Brave.
This is cool because let's say we're on the run or something, we can just go get a phone, jump on Anigma, and then boom, start trading Lightning.
Yeah, one of the things
kind of awesome.
One of the things I really like about it is that upon going to the website, it automatically generates a private key and a public key for you, and a Bitcoin wallet as well. So that means you don't have to there's no sign up page. You just start talking to people immediately, and that's unique. I had someone the other day. They were like, "Can you send me this TX ID or something?" And I was like, "How do I copy paste something from my computer to yours?" I know, go on Anigma, and I'll just message you, and it took 10 seconds.
Yeah,
So
it's really cool. And then if you throw Lightning in there, you're gonna put LM bits, you said, or you already have it in there?
It's already in there. If you click somebody's profile, you can tip them. So if you could show them what that looks like, Keyan.
This is game changing. Yeah, this is awesome.
So there's a tip this user button that displays his LM bits QR code, and if you go to see your wallet, you can go to the top. In the top right section, there's 3 dots. You can click those and scroll down to the bottom is your past your private key, but you're gonna have to get rid of this account now. So of course, once again, users can't see it because our screen is not there, but the below important account is wallet URL, and that you can copy that and go to view your wallet. So that's where your sats show up. I'm currently making a thing in the sidebar that shows you what your Satoshi balance is and lets you.
So you're running an LN Bits instance that is custodianing the funds for Anigma?
No, I'm using the Legend server.
Okay.
That Ben Arc hosts, and then one of the upcoming features, hopefully, is to connect it to your own Umbrel or whatever.
Cool.
So yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on Stacker News Live, Super Testnet / Brill Satin.
Yeah, not a problem. Anytime.
Cool. Now we're going to jump into Keyan's top stories.
Yeah, my top story is pretty quick here, but I don't know if you saw this one. You haven't mentioned it yet, so I'm wondering. But Kevin Rook launched stacksats.how, which is a website where you can learn about all the places that you can earn Bitcoin, and pretty cool. I think Kevin actually floated this idea by me at one point, but we had a lot of users on Stacker News asking about the best ways to stack sats, and there's a bunch of articles on the internet on how to stack sats and the various places. So he created this kind of website that lists all the ways that you can stack sats and categorize them. So if you want to be a liquidity provider, how can you earn sats from that? Lists the ways. Jobs, how can you earn with a job? Games, how can you earn with games, etc.
Cool.
Just kind of a cool little tool to kind of describe all the ways you can stack sats online.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Go back down. What happens is it all the way down? Does it throw everything on there? Or?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that's out there. I think he did a pretty good job of covering most of it. I'm sure.
That's awesome.
I'm sure people have reached out already, probably to get new things added to it. But you even got Oshi on here. You can look at everything that you can do without having to have sats to start. There's a huge list of them here.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did a good job of cataloging everything, and it's way better than I think in an article format.
Is there a way to add or?
No, I think you have to contact him.
Okay.
But you can either way. Oh, it looks like you can book a meeting on L and Cal, keeping it Bitcoin circular here. You can book a meeting with Kevin on L and Cal, or you can send him a message on Vita. And you could probably get stuff added. But I think Kevin's pretty aware of like everything that's out there right now. That this is like his thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat. And you can look. Okay, the only Canada only thing apparently is Shake Pay. I'm trying to see if there are other like niche categories.
Stacker News in there? I don't
Android only. Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
But you can't start without sats on Stacker News. You currently have to bring sats.
Okay.
Guides? No, it's the homepage. But we're on here. Sats required.
You're at the top.
So here you go.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. I thought it was just a nice little thing. And now if anyone asks like how can I stack sats on the best ways to stack sats on Stacker News, I'll just be able to link to that. So that's pretty neat.
Nice. Definitely check it out. Stackers. Oh,
yeah.
We got the metrics.
So here's the metrics for the week. Pretty kind of typical metrics, but
is it down or up?
I don't know. I need to do like a charting over a week or like over a month that shows a little bit of variation. But I don't know. I just like doing the segment because we stopped going over like top stackers. I don't know if you like that segment.
I did like that segment.
Okay, well then we'll go back to doing that instead. Yeah, top stackers this week. Apparently, I stacked 74,000 sats.
What? What's going on?
That's
here?
right, dude.
What's going on here?
I be stacking. KR was the next top one.
From your this daily thread?
I don't stack any from the daily thread. You can't even tip the daily thread.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought you can tip inside the comments though.
You can tip inside the comments, but I'm not nearly as active in the daily thread as other people are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. KR was the next top. Darth Coin, Heisenberg for their lightning address post. Max for his post. Crypto Coin always the top. Brill Satan.
Yeah.
I love that avatar. Yeah, Real Star Backer. They did an AMA. Tenuous, Snout. Lots of big stackers.
Seeing the main people who always put content in there at the very top. Hey, there's Ken.
Hello, Tristan.
Hey, look, I stacked too.
You did stack.
Yeah.
What's kind of cool is this list always goes up every week. Maybe I should begin looking at that. But like the lowest amount in the top 21 has gone up from like hundreds a couple months ago to now thousands. And
I remember when it used to be very little, dude. I remember when the top one would be like 2,000 barely.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
A long way, dude.
I love that.
See, this time next year, you're gonna start seeing like 1 million.
1 million.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you. It's gonna
Predictions.
be like 1 million. It's gonna be like 900,000. Is that 900,000?
Top jobs.
You're like, I'm just gonna ignore that.
Yeah. Top jobs. Fetty is still looking for a mobile engineer. Escape to El Salvador still has a bounty out for writing content for their website around El Salvador.
Elon Musk is hiring?
And where's Elon Musk?
It says Elon.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be nice if this was... Maybe this is Elon. Maybe Elon works for ChinaDigitalTimes.net.
Possible.
Yeah, I mean,
probable.
Who knows?
Likely.
Elon,
come on, Stacker News Live.
Got that Chinese money. Anyway, they're looking for like a kind of a one-off project. Looks like roughly what you'd maybe call a consulting gig for 3 to 4 months. Looking for someone to build an MVP.
Is that how that works, Keyan?
A specific stack, huh?
Is that how that works? Like whenever you have like a Whenever you're looking for somebody to help you build an MVP?
You could do it this way. I mean, this is a great way if you're really unsure of what you're doing and that you don't think there's a good you're not sure there's a good opportunity for the product you're building. Maybe you just want to build like a really buggy MVP and see what people think of it before you end up hiring someone full time.
Oh, okay.
But if you're like really confident in the project you're building, you probably want to bring an engineer on your staff instead, because otherwise you're just going to keep shelling out to contractor after contractor, and then the contractor has no long-term relationship with you necessarily, maybe, and it's not as good as having someone on staff. But pretty cool. That's a top job, and that's pretty much it for the week.
Yeah, and we got the boost. I think we had like one big boost here. It came on. Actually, Blockchain Boog. Man, that guy loves Stacker News Live. Blockchain Boog, man. He boosted us 3,770, and then Oscar Murray also loves Stacker News.
Thank you, Oscar.
1,500, and then Sparky, 158, and then user 2 whatever 75 sets. Yeah.
Getting those boosts.
Thank you for the boost, stackers. I guess that's all we got.
Yeah, that's it for the week. We will see you guys next week. Zap.
Later, stackers.